Welcome to the most exciting topic on the internet, Social Security. I'm Matt Johnson. I'm with Social Security Education Center. Today we're going to do a deep dive on divorced spouse benefits and what exactly you are entitled to as a divorced spouse, okay? Now there are really two main benefits and people confuse these all the time. The first one is just an ex-spousal benefit. Okay, now this is you are able to collect an ex-spousal benefit off of your ex-spouse, subject to some rules that we'll go over in a minute, when they're still alive, okay? The big difference here and the big indicator is your benefit has to be less than half of theirs. So the most you'll ever be able to get is half of their full retirement age benefit at your full retirement age. If your benefit is higher than half of theirs, then you're just gonna be on your Social Security benefit from your own work record. Now, the other possibility is what's known as the surviving spouse benefit. Okay, so ex-surviving spouse. So once that ex has passed away, well, now you're entitled to their full amount. So even if your benefit is greater than half of theirs, well, if their full benefit is greater than your full benefit, you might be entitled to their full benefit as a ex-surviving spouse benefit. Now, before we get into all the deep and fun rules, we're gonna start with an example, okay, from the king of late night, Johnny Carson and his wives. Now, Johnny was actually married 4 times throughout his life, okay? Jody, Joanna, then he got sick of the J's, so he went with an A, and he married Alexis, who actually survived him. Now, they were married for 14 years, 9 years, 13 years, and 18 years, respectively. Now, whenever I do a Social Security class, I always ask this question: how many of these ladies could have collected a Social Security benefit from Johnny and Johnny's record? And I get some people who say 3, I get some people who say 4, I get a lot of people who don't say anything. But the answer is 3. Now, why is it 3? Well, it turns out the most important rule for knowing if you're going to be able to collect a benefit off of an ex-spouse is right here. Okay, you have to have been married for 10 years in order to do so. So poor Joanne just missed it by 1 year. Now, the second question I ask here is, okay, so of these 3 ladies, Jody, Joanna, and Alexis, could they have collected the exact same thing from Johnny, all things held equal, or is it proportionate? Does it depend on how long they were married to Johnny? And the answer is the exact same, okay? It does not matter how many 10-year marriages you can fit into a lifetime. Every single one of those ex-spouses can collect a Social Security benefit off of your work record, assuming they meet all the rules. So let's get into the rules. What are they? Well, for an ex-spousal benefit, the rules are as follows. Your own, like we talked about at the beginning, your own Social Security benefit is less than half of your ex-spouse's. Okay, so just like if I'm evaluating if I'm going to be on my Social Security benefit or off of a spousal benefit of my current spouse, well, as an ex-spouse, you have to evaluate, is yours higher or is half of your ex-spouse's higher? And Social Security is gonna give you the higher of the two, okay? You do have to have been married for 10 years, like we talked about. Your ex-spouse does have to be 62. So in order to collect a benefit off of your ex-spouse, they do have to be 62, and as do you, okay? You cannot have remarried. So if you remarry, there's no chance of collecting an ex-spousal benefit from your ex-spouse, because now you have the option of getting a spousal benefit from your current spouse, okay? It does not matter if your ex remarries, they can remarry and you can still collect an ex-spousal benefit off of them, but you cannot remarry, okay? The age range where you would start collecting is 62, from 62 to full retirement age. So that's kind of the realm of possibilities there. You wouldn't ever go beyond your full retirement age because you're not going to get any additional benefit. Okay, so between 62, and it's going to be discounted up to your full retirement age. Now, if you've been divorced for less than 2 years, your ex-spouse has to have turned their Social Security on in order for you to get a benefit from their work record. If you've been divorced for more than 2 years, it does not matter. If you're the same age, your ex-spouse can be waiting until 70, and you can start at age 62. It doesn't matter that they haven't turned theirs on, but you do have to hit that 2-year threshold, okay? Now for that second possible benefit, okay? Once your ex-spouse has passed away, now don't get any ideas. These are the rules that you have to meet, okay? You do have to have been married for 10 years in order to collect a survivor benefit from an ex-spouse. This is a big one. You cannot remarry prior to age 60. So if your current spouse passes away, you can't remarry prior to age 60 if you want to collect a survivor benefit. Well, the same is true for an ex-spouse. So if you got divorced, that spouse passes away and you remarry at 59, well, you no longer have the option to collect a survivor benefit from your deceased ex-spouse. But if you remarry at 60 years old in one day, now you have the option to still collect that survivor's benefit from your deceased ex-spouse, okay? The age range for the survivor benefit, the survivor portion of the divorced spouse benefits, is 60. So instead of 62, now you can start as early as 60 if you have that benefit available. Between 60 and full retirement age is the realm of possibilities when you would go to start your benefit. And then the last one is deemed filing does not apply. And what that means is deemed filing is where you go to apply for Social Security, they give you the highest benefit available to you, and you're locked in, you can't make any other moves. Well, as a survivor, where your ex-spouse is the decedent, well, deemed filing does not apply. So you can start a survivor benefit while you grow your own benefit until 70 and then switch, or vice versa. You can start your own benefit at 62 while you grow the survivor benefit until your full retirement age and then switch to that. So you just have a lot more options available to you as a survivor because you're not necessarily locked in, okay? All right, so if you're sitting there and you're thinking, man, this might be applicable to me, but you don't know, what do I do? Unfortunately, you're gonna have to make your way down to the Social Security office, okay? I do this every time. What do you do? All right, so make an appointment with the Social Security office, because unfortunately, we don't have the ability to look up and find out what your deceased ex-spouse or your ex-spouse's benefit would be. Only the Social Security office, even you can't do that online. Make an appointment with the Social Security office near you. If they say they're booked out, try and call different Social Security offices around the city if that's an option for you. Take your divorce decree in, as well as if your ex-spouse has passed away. If you have the ability to get the death certificate, take that in with you for the survivor benefit. And they should, they're not going to tell you a lot, but they should be able to tell you what you would be able to collect off of that ex-spouse's work record. And the final pointer here is the widow's benefits matrix. Now we talk about this in my video on survivor benefits in more detail, but basically if you go in and you ask for this keyword, okay, widow's benefits matrix, if you go in and you say, hey, I want to know how much I could collect off of my deceased ex-spouse, they might, depending on who you get, they might tell you, they might say, I have no idea how to get that. But if you ask them for the widow's benefits matrix, now they should be able to tell you and print off a grid of what you'll be able to collect off of your own work record versus what you could collect off of your ex-spouse's, as a survivor, your ex-spouse's work record, okay? So that's if you have an ex-spouse who has since passed away. So those are the tips in terms of how to implement this. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you on the next one.